everyone. It's Michael Murray with Benzinga. This morning, I'm joined by Randall Crowder, the COO and Director of Funware. Randall, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here.
Great to have you here, Randall. We're excited to learn more about you and Funware. Really, really exciting concepts. Let's start with a general overview. What is Funware? What do you do?
Yeah, so Funware. So we're based in Austin. We have 4 offices. So we're in Irvine, San Diego, Austin, and Miami. Founded in 2009. The name is a play on words, so just like Funware. And really, the whole idea was, can you build mobile solutions that exhibit game-like mechanics and behavior? So you have hardware, software, firmware, and Funware. And so when we started the company back in 2009, that was a legacy. I mean, it's crazy to think about it now, but less than 3% of internet content was consumed on mobile. This is before the App Store. This is before people really knew what mobile was going to be. And so we really designed the company around helping large brands pivot from the web to a mobile environment, and we dominated it. So we did the first NASCAR app, the first NFL app, a lot of Fox's mobile application portfolio, and got really good at building large enterprise applications that were designed to engage customers. And really, the next era of this will be what we call digital transformation, and we're just as excited about that, but we can go into that in a little bit.
Excellent. Well, that's a great start and a good background to you guys. Now, I want to talk some about the bigger news that you guys have recently and some of the big accomplishments you've had and delve into some of the details. So you recently filed an 8K naming Carrier as a distribution partner. Is Carrier using Funware? Can you tell us a bit more about that partnership? What does that mean for Funware as a company?
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty good segue. So when we think about this idea of digital transformation, now we're thinking about the mobile device as a really powerful computer. Before, and this was for a decade, it was mostly dominated by digital agencies building kind of one and done mobile solutions. And so really the big idea was, how do we shrink a desktop experience down to the bite size of a mobile device? Well, now that's table stakes. A lot of people have mobile applications, and a lot of it is what we call the passion verticals: sports, media, entertainment. Well, now what's really interesting about digital transformation is you're seeing kind of almost the professionalization of mobile. So we live in a mobile-first world. It's quickly becoming mobile-only. So large companies like Carrier are thinking about, all right, how do we take that mobile device that's always with a customer, it's always connected to a network, and how do we do more with it to really engage that consumer? And for us, that's all about contextual engagement. So it's, how do I get the right content to the right person on the right screen at the right time in the right place? And when you start to think about mobile like that, then you really begin to understand digital transformation. So everybody knows Carrier as this massive, heating and cooling company, but they do a lot more than that. They're traded on the New York Stock Exchange. They're a $40 billion company. They do a lot. And so, they have a company called a subsidiary called Lenel S2. They're a giant in the security solution space. And so what they're trying to do with their Blue Diamond mobile app is build an end-to-end smart, basically a smart workplace or a smart hospital or a smart hotel, anywhere that they've already got a customer who uses their credentialing or their access controls. They want to now provide this really immersive, really engaging, smart solution that really brings everything together. And so for us, what they've done with us is license our location software. So you kind of think about, all right, if I'm going to have a mobile solution kind of controlling a customer journey in a venue, I can't really do a lot with that if I can't figure out who you are and where you are and what might be important to you. So you need software like Funware's in order to kind of bring that alive and make it contextual. And so I always use the Minority Report example, but if anybody's ever seen that movie with Tom Cruise and Minority Report, where he's walking through the mall and all the advertisements are personalizing to him as he walks by, where he walks into the Gap of the future and this hologram pops up and it's like, how'd you like that last purchase? Walk this way, I have something else I want to show you. That's how people should think about digital transformation, but you can't do anything with that if you don't have the location software layer. And that's where Funware comes into play. And so you have 5G outside, you have really great Wi-Fi indoors, you have a really powerful mobile device in your pocket or more likely in your hand. What's the software layer in the middle that makes sense of it all? How do we connect that mobile device to all of that powerful signal strength, and how do we use that to inform a real world journey? That's where Funware is going to dominate. And that's where we have probably a better competitive advantage over anybody. And that's why Carrier licensed our location software, because when you need that kind of high precision indoor positioning, you know what, that GPS-like functionality indoors, like you have it outdoors, so that you can turn on all these really exciting use cases. You can't run that to risk with somebody else who's just pretending to do it, like with wayfinding, or doesn't understand how to be hardware agnostic, or doesn't understand how to seamlessly switch between indoor and outdoor environments or in 3 dimensions. And so to kind of contextualize this for people, I always say, like, our location software is so powerful. If we were in the World Trade Center, we would have saved lives. That ability to quickly identify devices in 3 dimensions, be able to get them the right content, and then have them take an action and be able to do that in real time, very fast, thousands, if not tens of thousands of transactions a second. That's what our platform was designed to do, and that's what Carrier's licensed. So we're really excited to partner with Carrier, really excited to go out, pre-integrated into their solution. I think that's an important point for, really shareholders, but it's an important point for our customers to understand as well. Our software was designed to be sold through a channel. It was designed to integrate with other people's solutions. So Microsoft never had to sell Office to every single customer. They sold it to the phone companies or the computer companies. So that when you got a phone or a computer, Microsoft Office was already pre-integrated. That's how we think about Funware. We want to integrate Funware into existing offerings, and Carrier is a really great example of that, where we've integrated our location software into their offering, and that's what they're going to market with initially. But we have a lot of other really interesting things we're exploring with them. So excited about that relationship.
Fantastic. Really, really fascinating stuff. And Randall, I'm going to ask you kind of a 2-part question that'll bring us to the conclusion of the interview, but kind of get us a couple of different perspectives. From an industry perspective, where are you focusing right now specifically? And then a second part of that question, just for you to kind of wrap up as well, to you personally, what do you see Funware doing that's really, really interesting and unique and kind of sets you guys apart in your industry specifically?
Yeah, great question. So, as I said, when we first got our start, it was a passion vertical, sports, media, entertainment. We did most of Fox's mobile application portfolio. But I doubt NBC is going to come to us and say, hey, we really want you to design our mobile application. They already have one. They're iteratively building upon that. Now we can give them our features and give them some of our things like location software, but they have a mobile presence, if you will. What's interesting for us right now, and where we see the opportunity, are really industries that never needed a mobile application until now. Hospitals, a lot of them haven't had their own native branded mobile application. They'll use like an EHR if they're using Epic. MyChart has a mobile application they can use, but it's not really theirs. It's not their content. It just kind of plugs into the Epic ecosystem. Well, now these hospitals are thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we could tech enable the entire continuum of care? Wouldn't it be cool if you arrived at the lobby, we knew that you were disabled and maybe you had limited mobility, we could have a wheelchair waiting for you? What if we could, enable you to be in a recovery room and be able to access your care team, at your fingertips? What if we could give you discharge protocols or surveys whenever, you were most likely to kind of follow them or need them, have that all at your fingertips? What if we could just help you not get lost around a medical facility? It's a $150 billion a year problem. Patients either, getting lost and not making their appointment, or just forgetting their appointment altogether. And that's in the US alone. And so by having this kind of mobile concierge to inform your real world journey in a healthcare system, there's a direct ROI. And so there's a lot of hospitals interested in a platform like Funware's. It's also true for corporations. So corporations, the most you ever engage, online with a corporation is maybe a contact us form. Well, now corporations are thinking about returning to work. They're thinking about hybrid models. How do I book a conference room? How do I standardize my office space and allow, employees to just kind of reserve office space as needed in a 3-2 schedule, maybe 3 days in the office, 2 days back home? How do I go to a different office and do all my, access control and visitor permissioning? And so we've done this for Norfolk Southern. They're building a world-class headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. They said, look, Funware, we want an office of the future. And that's what we're delivering to them. So it's an incredible, opportunity for corporations to jump into the mobile game. And we're seeing a lot in politics as well. So, 800-pound gorilla in the room, but we did the Trump app and it dominated the Biden app. Regardless of the election, what we were hired to do was create a very engaging mobile application. And so now any politician, Democrats, Republicans, internationally, if they want that same kind of experience that drives engagement, that drives users, that drives donations, you come to Funware, and that's the kind of stuff that we do. It's, again, delivering mobile applications that are very professional, scalable, and exhibit game-like mechanics and behavior so that you can drive that engagement and that utilization. And I think that's kind of the second part of your question. That's the future. If you think about what Amazon did, you could have invested in Amazon below $100 for a decade. They were doing things and building infrastructure when nobody was paying attention. They were building, infrastructure for on-demand cloud storage when no one was paying attention. Everybody was still thinking about data centers. They were building the infrastructure for on-demand delivery of goods, and no one was paying attention. No one thought you could rival FedEx or UPS. And so we're doing the same thing with digital transformation. We want our software to enable a future where every venue becomes a smart venue. The only way you can engage consumers, especially as they start to have limited attention spans, limited loyalty, because there's so many distractions and so much optionality, you're going to have to make your engagement contextual. And we want to be kind of powered by Funware. Every venue, from stadiums to hotels to hospitals to corporations, anytime your phone chirps and you pull it out and you're getting some sort of contextual information, maybe it's an infomercial at a retail store about a product that would be perfect for you, and you're like, wow, that actually would be perfect for me. That kind of stuff is contextual engagement. That drives digital transformation, and that's where Funware is going to win. We have a better platform than anybody I've ever seen. I don't know that anybody's doing exactly how we're doing it, where you can license mobile software, standardize on us just like you would standardize on a CRM for Salesforce. You focus on your business. Let us take care of everything you need to succeed on mobile. That's the future of engagement. It's going to be contextual, and Funware is going to be a dominating player in that space.
Wonderful. Randall, really, really interesting stuff. Clearly, whatever Funware is doing is working. Excited to watch the carrier partnership play out and everything else you guys are working on as well. Randall Crowder, COO of Funware, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been a pleasure.